Hello students, good evening. Here I am making video on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? So this video is just basic information. For basic information I'm making this video. Then in next video the same topic I'm going to make it on the slideshow. But here this is the simple video for your general knowledge about the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's another name uh, of the novel, detective novel written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Right. So let us first of all uh, we will discuss about the author. So here, author's basic introduction is given. Robert Louis Stevenson was a 19th century Scottish novelist, right? So he was the Scottish novelist, poet, and travel writer, right? Best known for his classic adventure tales like Treasure Island. That tales was very much famous. Treasure Island, right? That's a classic adventure tales, right? And psychological thrillers such as The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? Robert Louis Stevenson was born in Edinburgh, right? In 1850. His life was marked by poor health, which led to a love of reading and writing from a young age. So because of his poor health, he can't move much, and that's why he started reading and writing, right? From a young age, because he was not able to move much, right? Do active physical activities. So that's why he has diverted for writing and reading. So that's the best part of his personality, right? And later a life of travel to find suitable climates. And then whenever he travels, so uh, he has written a life of travel to find suitable climates. So that is there. He pursued a law degree. He was educated, but ultimately dedicated to his life to writing. He was lawyer, but then he became a writer, becoming a celebrated literary figure before his death in Samoa in 1894. Right, so that is something he has become the celebrated literary figure. Though he was advocate, he owned the degree of law, but then you can imagine that he was the celebrated literary figure. So that is something different, interesting for his life, inspirational, right? Then early life and influences. As far as early life and influences, so that's he was born into a family of lighthouse engineers. So educated family, right? Stevenson was educated in Edinburgh, but suffered from frequent fevers and breathing problems throughout his childhood. So that's a he was breathing problem, right? And fever, right? Throughout his childhood. His early life often spent abed. So can you imagine that? But then he had become a good writer. However, much time he has spent in his bed, but was filled with reading. So that is why he started reading, which developed his lifelong passion for literature. And he inculcated that passion for literature. So that is positive attitude, positive action, right? Now, literary career, despite early pressure to follow his family's engineering profession, Stevenson became a writer. However, his family members wanted him to do engineering, but then he has become the writer, producing novels, essays, poems, and travel books. His work is celebrated for its adventure stories, right? So that was, and then exploration of duality. So he has covered the adventurous story he has penned down and exploration of duality. Travel and later life, as far as his travel and later life is concerned. So Stevenson's health promoted him to travel extensively because his health prompted him to travel extensively from Scotland and France to the United States and Pacific Islands, eventually setting in Samoa, where he died in 1894. So, for treatment, he has to go here and there. And in Samoa, he was known as Tusil, Tusila, Tusitala. I don't know what is this, Tusitla, story writer. So, I think that is French name probably. So, he has become, and he was known as story writer and became involved in local politics also. As far as his celebrated works are, Island is very much famous. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Kidnapped is also famous. And Child's Garden of Verses. So these are the famous novels, famous works you can remember, right? Now come to the story. So what's the story? In a story, let me tell you that Mr. Utterson, right? Lenny and Dr. Jekyll, and that's a pool guess. These are the minor characters, right? So first of all, stories start with Mr. Utterson. Mr. Utterson, he's a lawyer by profession, and he is reserved but kind and is known for loyalty. Right? He was reserved but kind and known for loyalty, sticking by his friends. So he was very much loyal to his friends, even when they do wrong. Sometimes friends do wrong to him, but then he was always loyal. And one of his unlikely friends is Mr. Enfield, right? So Mr. Enfield is also uh, like the friend. And one Sunday, story start from here. One Sunday, as the pair is taking a walk, so they used to go for walk in the evening. The Sunday evening they used to go for walk. So they come across a somber looking door belonging to a house that Enfield knows well. So when they were going for walk, evening walk, so then they look a somber door, very like what we can say, that something different, something mysterious, right? Belonging to a house that Enfield knows well. So that door is very unusual, and Enfield knows about the person. And then Anfield tells the story of a horrible incident in which a man trampled a young girl and, when apprehended, seemed remorseless but agreed to pay a large check when threatened by the police. So, this story, one story, while walking, Enfield shares this story to Utterson, and he says that a horrible incident he shares with Utterson, and in which a man, he's saying that a man trampled a young girl, right? And when apprehended, and when he has become apprehended, seemed remorseless but agreed to pay a large check when threatened by the police. So he is well off and he is ready to pay. And then He's a very cruel fellow. He says when he is pressurized by police, so he becomes to pay a huge amount. He disappeared into this very house. So he's Anfield is telling to Addison that, are you looking this home? So from this home, this door, one person came and he trampled a girl. And when he was pressurized by police, so he disappeared into this very house and revealed a check signed by a well known, respected name. And he says that important thing is when he goes inside, the man who trampled the girl, who goes inside and he brings a check. And can you imagine, Natterson, in that check, which was signed by a well known and respected name? So Mr. Addison and Mr. Enfield agree that it is best not to talk any further about the matter, but Addison is deeply affected. They stop talking. They uh, mm, finish the matter all of a sudden. But because he knows the person that Enfield describes who trampled the girl, because Utterson is well acquainted with that person, and he says that what you are talking about, whom you are talking about, the person whom I know very well tramples the girl. One of his clients, Dr. Jekyll, he is none other than one of his client, Dr. Jekyll, has recently made a will. So uh, he remembers that Dr. Jekyll, his whose friend, Utterson's good friend, Dr. Jekyll, has recently made a will and has left everything to a Mr. Hyde. So he remembers that because he is a lawyer and Dr. Jekyll and Utterson are good friends. So he remembers that Dr. Jekyll has written will in and in which he has left everything to Mr. Hyde rather than his own family. So he thinks that why Mr. Jekyll has not written has not written for his family members instead of Mr. Hyde. Who is he? Who is Mr. Hyde? So he visits Dr. Lanyon. Dr. Lanyon is also physician and they are Mr. Atkinson, Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Lanyon, they are friends and old friend of Jekyll's. So Dr. Lanyon had been a good friend with Jekyll, but then he uh, he discontinued once upon a time with Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, who has had a falling out with Jekyll over what he considered to be his old friend's unscientific methods. Why he cut, why he their friendship is discarded because because uh, because of unscientific methods, because Dr. Jekyll misuses power and he uses unscientific methods. So Lenin is not agreed with Dr. Jekyll and that's why he their friendship is finished. Now, Dr. Lennian has never heard of Mr. Hyde, but they had been Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Lennian had been a very good friends. So Dr. Lennian tells to Utterson that I haven't listened about Mr. Hyde. Who is he? Causing Utterson to worry even more about Jekyll's safety. So they are worried, being a friends, they are worried about Dr. Jekyll's and they're thinking that who is Mr. Hyde? He has nightmares of Jekyll being woken in his bed by his blackmailing friend, Fiend. So he's thinking that if someone is blackmailing Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Utterson is thinking this way. Now, so Utterson decides to spy on the strange house. So he thinks that the spy house, that house which was shown by Enfield, the scene of the crime. Finally, one night he sees Hyde approach, so start watching that house in the night. And finally, one night he sees Hyde approach and confronts him and senses the same air of evil about the man that Enfield described. And one day, Mr. Hyde is caught because Mr. Utterson meets Mr. Hyde. He comes out of the door and he confronts Mr. Utterson and senses the same air of evil about the man that Enfield described. And he remembers that my friend Enfield, as he described about Mr. Hyde, he is similar. He's just like what my friend has described. He goes to Jekyll's house and finding Jekyll's absent. So he rushed to Jekyll. So he finds that Jekyll is absent, he is not at home. So he asks Poole. Poole is a loyal servant butler uh, of Dr. Jekyll. So he asks Poole about Mr. Hyde. So he could not meet Jekyll, but then in the absence of Jekyll, he talks to Poole and he says that have you ever seen Mr. Hyde? Who is he? So Poole has been instructed to treat Mr. Hyde almost like a master, continuing Utterson's anxiety. So he says, yes, I know Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll instructed me to treat Mr. Hyde like a family member. So now Utterson has anxiety and he is panic. Soon after, at one of Jekyll's customary dinner parties, Utterson stays behind and asks his friend what the matter is. So, what happened soon after at one of the Jekyll's customary dinner parties? So, in one day, Jekyll's dinner party, Utterson stays behind and asks his friend what the matter is, but Jekyll will not confess. So, he asks Jekyll, what's the matter? Who is Mr. Hyde? Why are you taking interest? And then you have given instruction to your servant that he should be treated like family members. Please tell me. He only cryptically says that he can choose to be free of Hyde whenever he likes. So he says that uh, I want to be free from Mr. Hyde whenever I like. A year passes and again Hyde is involved in a horrific crime. This time, the murder of a respected old man named Sir Denver's Caro, right? So Hyde kills Sir Denver's Caro, and he was the respected old man and a politician. Because Sir Caro was a client of Atterson's and he is also client of Atterson. The police come to him and Atterson take them to Hyde's address. So police comes to uh, Atterson. Then Atterson talks about Mr. Hyde. He takes police to Hyde's home, but they find nothing amiss in his room. Only a burnt out end of the checkbook. So, police could not get anything except one burn checkbook. Now, Utterson visits Jekyll, who claims that he is finally finished Mr. Hyde. So, Dr. Jekyll says to Utterson that he finally finished with Mr. Hyde, and he even shows Utterson a letter from Mr. Hyde to the same effect. So he shows the letter. Uh, who? Dr. Jekyll shows a letter to Mr. Utterson. The letter which is written by Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. But when Utterson goes home and sits with his trusted clerk, a handwriting expert, the letter turns out to be written in Jekyll's own hand instead. So he goes home and then he meets his clerk who is the handwriting expert. So the person, Mr. Guest, his name is Mr. Guest. So Mr. Guest tells to Utterson that, sir, this is Mr. Jekyll's handwriting. This is not Mr. Hyde. This brings back Utterson's suspicion of blackmail. So what he thinks that my friend Mr. Jekyll is being blackmailed by Mr. Hyde. After the horrific murder of Caro has become public news, and Jekyll is back to his old self and regularly entertains his friends. And Jekyll is back to his oneself and regularly entertains his friends. Now Jekyll is normal, but after 2 months, Utterson is turned away from Jekyll's door, and once again, the doctor becomes a recluse. So one day again, Mr. Utterson moved to visit visits to Dr. Jekyll, and he finds that Dr. Jekyll has Dr. Jekyll becomes a recluse. Uh, he has alone in the room. He has reclused himself. So when Addison goes to ask Dr. Lanyon about it, Lanyon is a changed man. He says he has had a shock that will soon kill him. So this time Lanyon says that I have I'm shocked and I know that very soon Mr. Jekyll will be died. Though he will not say the nature of what happened between him and Jekyll, Lanyon gives Utterson a letter to read when Jekyll is dead. He says, I cannot speak, Utterson. Mr. Lanyon, Dr. Lanyon tells to Utterson, sorry, Utterson, I cannot speak anything, but uh, I can give you this letter. So when Mr. Jekyll will die, you can open this letter. Utterson, after a while, pays Jekyll fewer and fewer visits. But one day, when out walking with Enfield, they pass his old lab, which the sombre door leads into, and decide to go through the yard and say hello at the window. So now Utterson does not go to visit to Dr. Jekyll again and again. He visits rarely. But one day they go to the same door from where Enfield and Jack Utterson they had seen Mr. Hyde, right? So they used to go walk on Sunday. So one Sunday they go to that door through the yard and say hello to at the window. Jekyll greets them so that he meets Jekyll. He greets them but is overtaken by a strange mood and disappears from the window. So he says hello to them, but he disappears. That weird behavior is not digestible to Mr. Atterson. But anyhow, he let he think he's okayed, right? A few weeks later, Poole visits Atterson in a panic and persuades him to come to the house. So then, one day, Poole, the honest maidservant butler of Dr. Jekyll, he visits to Utterson and is a panic, and he persuades Mr. Utterson to come to home. It's urgency. Where Utterson finds all the servants cowering in a fear of their chained master, so that all the servants are frightened. Dr. Jekyll has locked himself away, and the voice that comes from the cabinet, the upper room of his laboratory, is not but Mr. Hyde's. So that from the room, from the laboratory, they receives Mr. Hyde's voice. Utterson and Poole, thinking Jekyll has been murdered, break in to the cabinet. So finally, they have to break the cabinet. They find Hyde's dead body on the floor. So they find Hyde kills himself and some documents. He leaves some documents, including a letter from Jekyll. One letter they find saying that it is the time for him to reveal the truth. And in that letter, truth is written. Utterson takes these documents home to read. First, he reads the narrative given to him by Dr. Lanyon. So, first, he reads narrative by Dr. Lanyon, and he explains the shock that taken his life. He was asked by Jekyll to fetch him a drawer of ingredients from Jekyll's lab for an experiment and to await a visit from a man. So that Dr. Lanyon is told by Dr. Jekyll to open the drawer, and this Lanyon did, very curious now about Jekyll's secret. When the visitor arrived, who from Lanyon's description is clearly Mr. Hyde, he makes a potion and brings it. And then in that letter, Lanyon tells about the potion. That's a drink, that's a medicine, we can say, which is made by Dr. Jekyll. And his body begins to wrap. When his horrific display is done, Dr. Jekyll is standing before Lanyon. So that body is converted, transformed into Mr. Hyde, very shabby and fear frightened personality. So this is all described by Lanyon to Utterson in a letter. Next, Utterson reads Jekyll's own confession. Jekyll describes his theory that all human beings have two natural selves, one good and one evil. He has felt this way all his life and has now succeeded in finding a way to separate the two. So he reveals his secret in his letter, in which he says that I made one medicine potion, and when I take potion, so I became evil. So that every being has evil and good personality. So he describes from his point of view all the events that his friends have witnessed. At first, the ability to become Mr. Hyde gives Jekyll a freeing new life in which he can indulge his basest instincts. So he says that when I change into Mr. Hyde, my body change into Mr. Hyde. So then I can cross the limit. I can go anywhere. But soon Mr. Hyde begins to do unspeakable things, such as murder Caro. But Jekyll admits that I never wanted to kill anyone, but Hyde pressurize me, compel me to kill, to murder Caro. Jekyll decides to cease transforming into Hyde, but one day in a park, Jekyll turns into Hyde involuntarily. So then it was in Jekyll's hand whenever he wants to convert into Mr. Hyde and do whatever bad things, and he enjoys his evil part. But one day he was sitting in the park, and all of a sudden, involuntarily, he was converted into Mr. Hyde without taking potion. Now, without taking potion, it Miss Jekyll transforms into Mr. Hyde, and this is when he must confess to Lennian to procure the chemicals he needs to transform back. So he confesses, but Jekyll returns home. But what happened? Jekyll returns home, but again Hyde takes over. And when he becomes Mr. Jekyll, so he comes to home, but again he converts into Hyde, Mr. Hyde. Now actively resentful of Jekyll, and Jekyll is forced to lock himself in his lab and send Poole out for more chemicals. Now he is not able to control himself, so he locks himself into a lab, and he sends his servant Mr. Poole to bring more chemicals because he is not able to live without that potion. But the potion has lost its effectiveness, and he writes the last of his confession. He is using the last of the original powders and anticipates turning finally into Mr. Hyde forever. He says that now it is not in my hand. Everything has already been slipped from my hand, and now I may be uh, Mr. Hyde forever, because without potion, I change into Mr. Hyde, no longer inspired by his belief in double nature. He believes that this moment will be a complete end to him, and that is why I'm killing myself, and that Hyde will go on as a separate being. And he says that Hyde will is a separate being left to deal with his new undivided condition, and he dies, he kills himself. So this is a story I have narrated, I have read actually, right? In this story we have seen that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a one person, and evil and good. Dr. Jekyll is a good person, evil is a very bad person, and person wants to enjoy evil, and when he is evil, so he can full-fledged, he can take all kind of break all the limits. But after some time, it is not his hand, Mr. Jekyll's hand, and without wanting, he becomes Mr. Hyde many a times, and that part he does not want to show to the society, but finally it is revealed, and that's why he had to kill himself. Here a story ends, right? So if you write something, you can write, otherwise I'm going to make another video in which I'll tell you uh, systematic move, right? And characters and all, right? But that is only for reading. So thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.